Welcome back on Dynamo. Today I want to propose you a series of videos about the General Handbook 2019. These are about the rules that you can find in the General Handbook 2019, and in the description you can find the playlist about. I decided to split in different videos such rules so that you can find and see the ones that you are interested about, because there are quite a lot. And anyway, you can ask in the comments if you are interested about other videos and I'll try to realize them. Anyway, each video is about a specific argument. So now we can begin with the second video about the mercenaries. Second, because I realized yet a video about the first part that it's about the rules for the mercenaries and the first two companies about the mercenaries that have been released. Because in the Forbidden Power Soulwars has been released the first rules about the mercenaries, and they are the same in this book. So I decided to keep that one and put it in this playlist about the General Handbook 2019, but also create a video about the other companies that has been introduced with this General Handbook 2019, so that you can go to see and have analysis of all of them. Anyway, I invite you also to go to see the first video to understand the rules about the mercenaries themselves. So now we can start to see the different companies, new companies that has been introduced. The first of the company mercenaries that we can go to treat is the Sons of the Lich Master. This is comprehensive of one that you have to bring, it's a master, that is a necromancer that you had to include, 0 to 3 units of zombie skeleton warriors, and 0 to 1 corpse cart with unholy lawson. Remember that you have two options about the corpse cart, and this is the must to have one. So if you go to include the corpse cart, it has to have the unholy lawson, and it's the more interesting one, because it gives you a +1 to cast a roll for death wizards, and reroll the death invocation ability results by the same necromancer ability, so it can really quite improve a lot. The bonus that such company mercenary gives is that it gives +1 attack to the zombies and skeletons of the same mercenary company, bully within 18 inches of the same company necromancer. In some way, it's like having to decrease the option about you spend a command point that gives you a +1 attack that usually you give with, for example, things like a vampire that gives the bonus. So you can think about increasing quite a lot more even the attacks that you can gain. But remember also that you are related about the necromancer, so it's quite interesting but also quite limiting about this. Moreover, because you have to remember that the necromancer increased a bit on points, and I'll treat in a specific video about those. Moreover, remember that the necromancer itself is without particular spells, because it doesn't belong to any ENGs, so it doesn't gain any of the spells that it can have, for example, from the Legends of Nagash Battletom. So it has only the normal spells that it can gain, and it can be really quite limiting, but in any case the positive part is that you gain a wizard to your army. Moreover, what is interesting about this necromancer is that it brings quite interesting things in your army. For example, it can bring the death invocation to be able to improve the summoning for the units, for example the Night Hounds summonable units. Moreover, also the corpse cart can improve such ones, so it can be used in such a way, so it can give you quite a lot of bonuses. Moreover, the corpse cart, I think that it's what it's more interesting, because the Night Hound, for example, are not eligible with the death mages, so you can't bring the corpse cart and the necromancer themselves in your army, so it can be really quite interesting in such a way. But remember anyway that it can be really quite heavy as a thing, and you can't gain quite a lot of mass, because you have only 400 points to talk about. but it gives you anyway quite a bit of options that can improve your way to personalize. For example, have some bonuses in casting, and at the same time being able to have, because you include, for example, only the necromancer and the corpse card, the possibility to raise better the units for the night hounds, or even if you go to play with other units, other armies, you can think about bringing the zombies or the skeletons to have quite a bit of mass inside, so it can be used in such a way. It's up to you decide if it worth or not, but anyway it can be really quite interesting in such a way. Second company, Mercenary company, it's Order of the Blood Drenched Rose, and this is a one that it's about vampires. It lets you bring 0 to 1 vampire lord, but it has to be on the nightmare steed if you bring it, and 1 to 3 blood knights. And remember that the bonus about this is that the units has no battle shock test, so it's really quite interesting in such a way. But here you have to pay attention about some things. Usually in an army of about 20,000 points, you have only 400 points to be able to use, and it means that with the decrease of the blood knights with these about the cost point in this General Handbook 2019, you have a little problem, and it's that you can gain only 2 units of 5 blood knights, a unit of 10 blood knights, or a vampire plus a unit of 5 blood knights. So I don't know if it worth really quite a lot the option to bring these units with you, because they are not so good. The decrease in price, it's good, but I don't think that it's so good if you go to think that you don't have any bonuses to apply really to the blood knights themselves. So it's not so good, I think, but anyway it can be used to bring some type of particularity in your rooster. So take note about such company mercenary, but it's not so great, I think. The next company mercenary is Grad Gargants, that let you add 1 to 3 Gargants. The bonus it's applicable only if you include at least 2 Gargants, cause it lets you reroll the hit rolls of 1 if one of such Gargants is within 6 inches of another of the Gargants of the same mercenary companies. Instead, it's the ability to reroll all the hit rolls, not only the one, if one of such Gargants is within 6 inches of the other 2 Gargants. So it's a nice way if you are able to bring all the Gargants, or at least 2 of them. Otherwise, if you are going to include only one, it's simply a way to have a Gargant in your army but without any bonuses. So I think that it's really quite silly, this company mercenary, because it's a must for you to bring at least 2 units, and the bonus that you can gain are quite few, I think. So interesting, but not so much. The next one of the company mercenary is Mimired Rough Riders. This lets you add 0 to 1 frigate general, that it has to be on war horse and not having the stately war banner, 1 to 3 frigates pistols, and 0 to 1 frigates outriders. The bonus is that these mercenaries can be placed in the reserve, and making them arrive then at the end of the first movement phase wholly within 6 inches of the edge of the battlefield and more than an inch from the enemy units. So this it's a really nice way to be able to bring the frigates pistols around the table, so that you can gain, for example, the possibility to make a threat to wizards, to some war machines and so on, so that you can relocate them, or even to go to buy some objectives eventually. So it can be really quite interesting in such a way if you have an army that it's not so mobile, able to redeploy really fast. You have units that can be placed where you want, how you want. So it's really quite interesting in such a way. And I really like usually for example with the free shitter course or similar ones, similar options. So I suggest you to take note about such one, because it can be really quite interesting. Moreover, if you think that you have some shooting, so for army without shooting, they can be really quite interesting ones to bring to your side. The next one is the Black Smoke battery that let you add 0 to 1 cocksmith, 1 to 3 cannons or organ guns in any combination, and 0 to 1 gyrocopter or gyrobomber. This has a bonus that let you add 1 to the hit rolls made by the cannons or organ guns if a gyrocopter or gyrobomber is within 12 inches of the target. This reminds me quite a lot about a formation of Warhammer 40k that it's about using the whirlwinds in combination with alien speeder. Anyway, it's really a really interesting way to add cannons to your army. So I suggest you to think about, because these can be add quite interesting ways to your armies. Eventually you can combine even this with the Nimiar's Rough Riders, so you can gain both something like a fast shooting and like a heavy shooting. So it's something that I think it can be really quite interesting to include in your army eventually, to suppress the missing of shooting, or even to improve that even more. So take note eventually about such options. The next one is rampages that let you include 0 to 1 Dark Oath, Siftain or Walk-in, and 1 to 3 Chaos Marauders. The bonus is that after you set up a unit of such mercenary companies, you can move that hit of a d6 inch. It means that you are able, for example, to move closer to the opponents, closer to some objectives, because it's made after you set up, and it doesn't refer about having consumed something in the phase, or even to go around some shenix, for example, if you have to go around the opponent. It's quite interesting in the way that you have the option to bring something in close combat, or you want to have something to relate particular about the Chaos Marauders. So they can be really quite interesting, but I think that they are a bit limited in option. They are quite strategic in some ways, so that you can control better the battlefield using such company mercenary. The next one is Scout Menagerie that let you add 1 Chaos Gargant and 0 to 3 Chaos Pawns or Chaos Warhounds or Furies. The bonus is that the Gargant can use the command abilities that are from the core rulebook, that are at the double, forward to victory and inspiring presence, as in a general, but it only affects these mercenary units. So it can be quite interesting in some way, that I mean that you are able to bring the Chaos Gargant with the other units, or to apply to itself, so that you have for sure the option that, for example, you want to have forward to victory or at a double applied to the Chaos Gargant itself or another units. But I don't understand if it's really quite useful. Surely it can be useful if you want to bring a Chaos Gargant to your army, but you have to pay attention, because it can be worth or not paying attention to how you are going to create your own army, because it's a way to bring models in close combat easier, but at the same time it requires some sacrifice, so it's a double-edged weapon, this one. And the last of the company mercenaries that we can go to treat, it's the Gutstuffers that let you add 1 Firebelly and 1 to 3 Manitas. The bonus is that you can reroll the charge rolls, but you must try the charge, you have to attempt the charge and eventually charge if there is an enemy within 12 inches of the units at the beginning of the charge phase. So it's quite a problem in my opinion, because it forces you to make a charge, and it's not a good way, in a strategic way. So I don't like too much such company mercenary. It can be interesting, but I don't like too much the must to have as option. So it's up to you decide if it can be useful for you, but in my opinion it's not so useful at all. So what to say about such mercenaries? I think that they can be really quite interesting. Some of them are not so useful and some of them are really quite amazing ones. And I think that they can be really quite a good suggestions about having personalized your armies. For example, you can create the models for the frigates, pistols or the cannons for your death armies or other ones, so that you can have a sort of personalized one. And I think that there can be really quite a good inspiration about ideas of personalization. The problem is that not all of such mercenary companies are really useful, and sometimes it will be interesting even to be able to mix them so that you can create an army or only consisting in mercenaries companies. So hold my company, if you want, company mercenaries army itself. It's really quite interesting in that way. Surely there are some that goes better than the other ones. For example, the one about the Black Smoke Battery, the Mimiard Rough Rides, the Flesh Eater Curse one that I analyzed in the first video, they are, I think, better than the other ones. So there are ones that I think we see quite a lot on the battlefields and others that we'll never see almost. So they can be really quite interesting ones. So I suggest to make an analysis about such units, such companies, because sometimes are units and sometimes are really companies that you go to see, and decide if they can be interesting for you to pay attention. But remember also to the limitation that the mercenaries themselves bring you. So take note about such different options, because they can give you quite a lot of different bonuses or fun that not necessarily the same, but often it can. So from Dino Mode, it's everything. I invite you to put a like on this video, to subscribe to the channel, to ring the bell, and to comment this video if you are interested in something about this video or you want to suggest me some arguments for other videos. I hope to see you again to the next time.